Hello, my lovely Earth and Star friends. This is Oracle Mystica. Um, I have tried to film this reading for it's taken me 3 days to do this. Um, it's been a while since I've done one, and I just really wanted to get one out. I'm in the middle of finals at school, but I just really felt this specific reading came to me, and I just felt like it needed to be done. So I made time when I could, and it's taken a while. So some of these were filmed a couple days ago, some yesterday, some this morning. But it's done, and I'm excited, and it was a really cool reading. I loved all of the piles, they were each really distinct. This reading is about what in you is has developed to a place where it's ready to kind of come into the world. It's sort of like if you were a tree, you've nurtured something for quite a while, and a fruit is now growing off of you that is beautiful and that is to be shared into the world. And so it's that's a little abstract, and I left it a little bit open to interpretation. So it could be tangible things, it could be qualities within you, but it's sort of this attractor energy that's coming because you've spent a lot of time really developing something. Okay, so, and also I just want to say I have this tree deck that I used in it that was really, I loved it, so I'll probably be using that more coming up. That was beautiful for metaphor. And then I love this deck. It's the Wild Unknown Archetypes. I use several decks in here, but these are the cards you're going to use to choose your pile. So pile number 1 is the Vessel. Pile number 2 is the Bridge. Pile number 3 is the Thread. And pile number 4 is the Temple. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to just feel into not necessarily the picture that you love most, but it's almost like this magnetic quality. Like, where is your heart or your eye being drawn? Like, which pile is drawing you in energetically, not because of its title or its image, just like you can usually feel some sort of draw. So I'm going to give about 30 seconds here for you to choose a pile, and then we will at that point start with pile 1, the Vessel. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading all about what in you is ready to share into the world. So this is something that you've been somewhat consciously really trying to develop, either in your life or about yourself, that you've worked really hard on. And the point has come where this thing, whether it's tangible or an inner thing, has kind of come into its greatest fullness, and it's time to kind of share it. It's almost like if you were a tree, the fruit you grow is ready to be picked. So let's dive in, and this is also why I chose to use this tree angel deck, to kind of get an insight into what that fruit is. But first, let's look at sort of maybe these archetypes about yourself, a little bit of a clue about who you are or what it is you've been really working on about yourself, or fascinated in. So you've got the Vessel and the Eternal Child. So there's something, the vessel has a lot to do with the body, but it really can be any container, something that's being held together. So there's something in you, whether it is your body, whether it's a home, whether it's some other containment in your life that you're trying to make a container, not that's sort of oppressive, but that's like really feels like it holds you, it holds something about you, something about this. It's almost like if you were a potter and you were making some kind of vessel, it's been, it's like ready to be fired now. It's all prepped and the perfect shape you want it, and it's ready to go into the kiln. So there's something in your life that is a container. It could be body or more abstract than that, that you feel really whole in and good about. So maybe you've really been working on health and fitness, or really working on pulling a home together. You could be finding a home finally after like feeling really disconnected from home, or not happy about your home situation and putting a lot of effort into trying to make home feel right. Something could be coming together finally around that. Other things, it could be some kind of container around qualities you have for work, or around feeling held together with another. So it could be a partnership too, which is, an interesting thought with the hawthorn tree, because that is a tree whose flower has both male and female parts. So there's something really strong about unity coming through in terms of the fruit you have now to offer into the world. This certainly doesn't have to be partnership. Unity can be something internally, like maybe there's been some inner tensions in you that you have found a way to kind of marry and unite. Tensions, going back to even if this is around body and health, maybe you found the exact right balances you need, treatments you need to feel like something in you is more united around feeling well. Another side to an element to whatever it is that's sort of coming into fruition here is you've got the eternal child. So something about this container and this unity aspect that's really ripened is bringing you a lot of joy. The eternal child is all about living life a little bit fast and fun and pleasurable, and just a real spirited sense to it. So there's something, and it could be multiple things. It could be around a new sense of health that really feels in rhythm and whole, or a partnership, or home, or other container you can think of that this new wholeness and feeling held and something feeling very united is bringing you some new freedom in your life to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more at ease, a little more fun-loving in life, which is really great, which will attract others to you and like fun things into your life going forward for a little bit. Okay, I wanted to pull some tarot cards to kind of clarify on each of these, the vessel and the eternal child, what might be surrounding how this is coming into wholeness, or something about that. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Wow, a whole royal suite we've got going on with this one. So the fact that there is a pair, the King and Queen of Pentacles, feels very much so like this could be about a relationship being held together that feels very, very stable and grounded and steeped in pleasure, slow and steady, something about that. If it's more about body or some other more personal area of life rather than interpersonal, it could be that you're finding wedding within yourself, like a really powerful new sense of your value and what you're worth and what you want to nurture and inspire in kind of the material of your life. I like that this is the pentacles with the vessel, because the vessel feels very material and the pentacles are about the material. So yeah, it could either be a partnership or it could be like something more very physical, like your body or your home, something related to matter, which was I was picking up on, like home, body, or a relationship, and it could be all of the above. But there's something truly like, if we had just gotten the Queen of Cups and some other card, there's unity there, but like this is total alignment of unity. Like something is really clear and really comfortable. That's aligned, that's holding something together in your life now. That's really lovely. And then adding in the Queen of Cups, there is something that you are really nurturing to emotionally, bringing you kind of a poetess type quality that around this either partnership or material vessel that is really elegant and people are really looking at and admiring and feeling a lot about it. And you could be feeling a lot of things about this too, about this container. Okay. I just wanted to also roll a couple dice around that for any other thoughts. Oh my goodness, yeah. So the moon, definitely this queen energy coming through. And it really could be, to me, home, body, a sense of femininity, no matter what gender you are, like a deep sense of femininity or connectedness to your intuition. Could be really feeling whole and comfortable. Something's very comfortable in your life, home, body, partnership, connection, with that Queen of Cups, like a real deep connection to intuition. Aquarius here, there's something, and this doesn't mean that you have to be Aquarius or have strong Aquarius in your chart, but there's some quality of detachment you're finding, that maybe you are really letting go of like some old things that you've worshipped that were holding you back, or rules or norms that were incorrect for you, that you've really released, and it's allowed you to find this new deep comfort with yourself. Fourth house, very similar to the moon. There's something, this feels like home and family. Something's really, an intuition, something's really feeling deep and strong and intuitive and a little bit magical. That moon fourth house area is kind of like where we're down in the roots of life and we can't really see with our eyes, but we can feel everything, and we navigate through that like really strong soulful place. So it's sort of like giving up any outside worship of things that don't have anything to do with who you really are. You've kind of let go of, I feel like. Okay, let's get some clarifying cards around the eternal child aspect coming through. Ooh, a bunch popped out. Let's see if it's 3. Yeah, 3, we'll take them. Magician. Oh, all major arcana. Look at you. You had the whole royal, whole royal suite over here, and then a whole major arcana suite. So this is a really big thing. This isn't just like, another year, another fruit. This is like, this is special. This is a fruit you've really maybe had a lot of, you've put so much work into it. It means a lot. So with the magician here, it's again relating into the material world in some way. This joy, this pleasure, something's very comfortable in your material life. You have certain resources, you have certain tools and ideas at your disposal, and you know what to do with them right now, and it's bringing you a lot. There's this spirit in you that really knows what to do with your life right now, and it's coming from a deeply, deeply internal place with the Hermit. It's something you've not sought outside guidance on. You've gone really deep into your own instincts and your own deep purpose and pulled something out that's uniquely personal to you, that you're about to like really make something of and show the world. And it's going to set you on a whole new path. I love that the Fool came up with the eternal child, because this is sort of like, like a new, a really new, fresh energy around your life, a new impulse, a new passion that's developing and coming up here. Really beautiful. So I'm just going to move these up a little bit for our next cards. Okay. Let's do some dice for these as well. Okay, so this, there's something very original, very unique that you're breaking. I felt this too, like you've broken out of some old expectations, some old norms, some old habits and patterns, and you're really claiming your unique path that's been maybe held back or held down, and you just feel so alive because you're finally claiming something about yourself that either you had disowned or that just wasn't able to be expressed maybe in an old container of your life. And it's, there's a new freedom to be uniquely you coming through, especially with your, first house. This is around identity, around a passion and an impulse that's being felt, and this kind of strength of character where you have these strong boundaries and you're willing to say yes and no exactly to how you actually feel, not based on, sometimes we do need to think of others and compromise and this and that, but like sometimes we really just need to focus on ourselves and claim what we need in order to awaken passion in us, which then we can use to, help and better and serve the world. But starts with that claiming of who you are, your identity, or your personal impulse. So that's, maybe there's something really different and unique about you that's been hard to own, and you're finally doing it. Congratulations. And then Pisces here, there's a quality too around something really either spiritual or very scientific or very artistic, things in you that are really complex and layered and filled with an ability to see things very holistically, the light and shadow of things, and so like a deep compassion in life. And maybe, you know, this thing that's unique, this Uranian quality, or you're newly kind of breaking out into, could have had some things that were deemed either by yourself or by the kind of culture you've been in as too mystical, too woo-woo, too abstract, too... There's some judgment around this, I feel like, some judgment around this Pisces quality that had been around you, that you're really just saying like, no, this is me. It's beautiful. But there's something that's been some shadows. Maybe you've been like a black sheep in certain ways. And you're seeing how to integrate those shadows in a way that like really creates a lot of light for you, this inner light with the Hermit. Something that's in this Fool, there's this bright sun. It's like the sunrise point that you've like reintegrated and re-understood and found a different way to relate to it and open up to it and break it out of some cage. So that's exciting, really beautiful stuff. Okay, so let's, the last step, we're going to look at some oracle cards that have been chosen already. Let me see these. I think we need to push up a little bit more. Well, for pile 2, I'll know how far I need to push the cards up. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yes, we can see that now. This one might get cut off because it's really long. Nope, we got it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh, we've got the Cancer moon coming through, full moon at that, which is like Cancer's phase of the moon. So it's like a Cancer moon. But we've got the moon up here in the 4th house, which is Cancerian. So there's something deeply, really feeling fertile and alive to you around your deepest sense of soul, your deepest essence, around your stability in life, home, family, intuition, your sense of femininity, whatever gender. Yeah, just something's really, you know, like it may to others appear somewhat mundane in a way, but to you it feels very sacred and very beautiful and special, comforting. You've really taken the time also to maybe know how to self-care better. And so that's something you can share into the world. It's always a struggle to learn how to self-care, and maybe you've learned some lessons around that people need to hear and learn from you. Okay, and then we've got in the hexagram cards, the I Ching, the 63rd hexagram, so water above, fire below, and it says after completion is the title here. And so it's talking about you have created, you know, I love actually using the vessel in this, kind of talking about this metaphorically, like you have some vessel that you know what to fill into it, what to put into it. So we'll just say it holds water that you're going to boil in order to cook something. Thinking about like with the water above, fire below, like a kettle, some coals. And so you're cooking something, you've had the perfect recipe, all the ingredients are in there, you have the container to hold it, the fire is perfect, and now something needs to kind of stew together, it needs time to marinate. And you're at this point where like everything is done and everything just needs to be maintained. You need to keep the fire stoked. You need to make sure it doesn't get too hot or too cold. You need to give it time, it needs time. But something really beautiful is cooking together, a stew, a very complex flavors and layers that you've put a lot of care and dedication into. And at this point, all that needs to be done is the maintenance, to continue to cook it at the right temperature and for the right amount of time with the right times of stirring. Like the hard part is over, but it doesn't mean that you can just, in terms of what you've developed with this vessel aspect of you, this feels like it's talking directly about that vessel thing, or a relationship. All the ingredients, all the processes are in place, everything's right, but it doesn't mean that you can just sit back and do nothing. You do have to continue the maintenance, but you know the rhythm, you know what needs to be done. It's easy. You just have to, that even sometimes those easy last steps of things are the times where we kind of slack off and then something gets burned because we've sort of just neglected this really easy element. So it's like, pay attention, don't rest on your laurels. Like, you need to maintain, and you need to be very conscious and aware of that. Okay, so open center here. This is, to me, I'm feeling like this energy, your heart and your breath, your life force are very open right now with these, with the hawthorn, this unity of yin and yang and male and female parts. And, this hawthorn is also kind of like, they can be used as hedges to contain places. So I think that's an interesting connection too with the vessel, but they can kind of, create sacred spaces because of their ability to contain things. And I feel like this, talking back into this of like maintaining, there's something like really deep and beautiful that is opening in your heart, and in your life force and your breath, that if you maintain, will give you just this amazing presence and power. And this woman here, she just looks so in command of her own self. And there's all this energy. I feel like this is flowing into her and this is flowing out. There's just this really beautiful flow of healthy, open energy that she's like really in command of. And this is you right now. There's something flowing perfectly and open, and you feel, just in control of it, and sort of blessed. And it's, but you need to maintain it. The coyote coming through feels like I feel like this is connected to this Aquarius Uranus thing. These two, Uranus rules Aquarius. This is the trickster, and so there's still maybe teeny holding on of like old idols or old things outside of yourself that you don't need to look up to or hold on to or aspire to. There's just like one extra little thread that's needing to be let go of, and this coyote's coming along, and it's going to create a bit of a delay, or not a delay, it's going to create sort of like a diversion. So you may feel like there's something pushing you a little bit off course, but it's not. It's pushing you further into just your personal inner unique quality, and away from any worshiping of something that is not right or aligned to you. So if there are some roadblocks you're feeling, or something that you feel has thrown you for a loop, it's because it's driving you just further and further into this complete inner unity to your essence and your spirit. And then we have enlightenment here. And I think this is the best possible last card there could be. It's just this complete awareness of yourself in a broader sense, against a broader place like the universe. Really having a sense of your direction on a soul level, on a cosmic level, on something so internally but divinely guided in you. And it's just like a great culmination card, just feeling, enlightened, the Fool, just completely clear with a new direction, a new impulse, a new spirit, eternal child kind of woken up in you, and a lot of energy, a lot of connection, a lot of energy and connection internally to who you are and where you're going. See, this ship, even though it's like up in space, it has its sails up. It knows what direction it's going, into a very broad place. So you broadly know who you are in the context of a big world. So congratulations to you guys. This feels like a really beautiful thing that sort of you've created and made fruitful in your life, and that as you put out there, other people are really going to start noticing you for these things and wanting to be a part of whatever it is you have going on. And just remember, you have the right to say yes and no to things. Keep your boundaries tight with this first house and this moon. Know your boundaries, because not everyone deserves to get a piece of this. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Hello, pile 2. This is your reading about what in you is ready to share in the world, that you've really put somewhat conscious energy into for many, many years. And like a tree, which is why I've chosen this tree deck to kind of have this central point in the reading, some fruit has been grown and ripened, and it's ready. This thing in you, you've really put a lot of nurturance into, and it's ready to be put into the world. And so we're going to look at what this is for you. This is my pile where I feel like you've had 8 or 9 really difficult years around a conflict in your life, whether that's been around a partner, whether that's like romantic or marriage, or a business partner, or a family relationship, or some relationship. Some could even be around a group that you've been involved with, or a group to group. Could be less interpersonal too, just depending on the person. But I feel like for most of you, or it could be more interpersonal than for some of you, like more, big group to big group. But I feel like for most of you, this has to do with like a romantic relationship and conflict, and potentially, this isn't going to hit for everybody, but potentially a divorce that has really been a long, drawn out, difficult process. But things are finally coming to a place where it's, you've really, through this struggle, developed something in you to know despite how hard it's been, and maybe this other side of the conflict has moved on easier for you, which has been even more difficult, added to the difficulty of things, but you're coming to a place where this deep dive into conflict has developed something in you to really newly understand how to find commonalities and how to let go and move on. I feel like you're starting to understand the importance of seeing the beautiful side of everything, in this ability to find some kind of commonality, to find the bridges. I even love in this linden tree card, how there's like this, there's like a bridge of light within this card itself, just like this arc here. And it's almost like attaching these cards. It's like you've found a way to build your bridge, to find a commonality, to be able to sort of let life flow again and move on, because you have learned the importance of seeing beauty in everything and in everywhere you go, and everything you see, and every person you touch. And that can be such a hard thing to develop when there is really difficult conflict in your life. And I really want you guys to take a minute to be proud of figuring this out. You've really come into something of like knowing that it's like tapping into your own passion again, and needing to focus on you and what you love allows you to then start seeing things outside of you also with more love, no matter how hurtful they are or difficult they are. So a fruit of having developed real maturity in getting through some tough conflict. I also, maybe you've become someone in the legal profession too, or a mediator or something, where you've really developed a skill in being able to, or like a couples counselor or something where you work with conflict. You could be not the person in the conflict, but you could also be someone who's really developed skills to know how to lead people through conflict. Because this linden tree, I love that this is the tree that came up. It's in more ancient times where judgments would be made and counsel would be given, because it's a tree that lives to a very old age. So it has a lot of wisdom. So you could either have had a lot of training to become someone in a role who knows how to help people understand how to bridge and find their personal passions, or you have gone through a lot of counseling yourself to learn how to do this for you in whatever's happening. And I love that this card is number 11, because it shows that you're walking through, it's like a doorway, the two ones, and you're walking into a new path. You're ready to let go and move on. So congratulations. This is a really, of any of the piles with what turned up in this, main signifying symbolic thing of what this is about, this feels like it's been the most effortful fruit to develop. So just, despite any toughness that's still there, just be proud of yourself for how far you've come, and for the bridges you've learned how to build, and for the turning to your own self and your own sense of beauty to help you kind of see your way through. Okay, I want to pull some tarot cards for each of the two kind of archetypal things that are developed here. Moving on. You are moving on. There is no more room in your life for discord. Yeah, you're cutting ties, you're moving. I mean, again, the Knight, it's almost like, it's funny, I've never really thought of the Knight and Eight of Cups as being so similar, but they are. It's like cutting a tie and, you know, you're moving on to conquer something new. You're ready for a new adventure, and you're doing it swiftly. You're really finding a new kind of, ooh, the Lovers. That is so fascinating to have come out. This could either be that you have deeply figured out how to wed certain things internally inside of you that have been conflicted, which is giving you a new sense of wholeness and direction and command of your own side of the street of things. You know, oftentimes when we can resolve our inner conflicts, the outside world follows suit. So maybe there's something inside of you you've really needed to work on and figure out and learn how to bring into balance that you've done, and it's allowing the outer world to also kind of fall into a better balance. And you're moving on. You're ready to move on because you've really come into this deep, deep place of knowing who you are and what you want and what choices to make. This card can have a lot to do with choices too. So I feel like you know the choices you need to make, and you're doing it. And that's something, what you've learned about how to understand inner conflict as relates to outer conflict is something that you know, you can really share with a lot of people in your world to help them as well. Okay, so around Eros, the world, oh, beautiful. New cycle coming, something's coming to complete fullness. I mean, what this whole reading is about, something has come into a place of fullness, and you have a deep understanding and a new, deeper kind of resonance of what you need and what you love about yourself, hence what the next cycle needs to be about. And you're about ready to step into you're incubating something about this through a deep understanding, and you're about to step into like this 11 path. You're about to step into a whole new doorway filled with more aligned, the path will be filled with things much more aligned for your own sense of passion and who you are and what you need in this lifetime. Okay. Eight of Wands. This is happening very quickly, and there might be multiple things kind of gestating, or multiple paths that you are opening into, because you're seeing so much beauty in life, and so much is opening up to you because maybe for many years not a lot has, because you've been so bogged down with this conflict and tension. Death, exactly. Moving on. Just like the eight of Cups, we're burning the old to allow the new to grow, to bring fertility. We're recycling. You know, this is a card of like allowing old baggages, old anything weighing you down that is not healthy for you, to go back into the soils of life and become fertilizer, to be recycled. The earth is taking it in and regenerating. Something in you is deep, in a deep regeneration, and it's all stuff that you have really needed to let go of, and it's, it's gone. Congratulations, that is great. Okay, I'm going to roll some astro dice for each of these 2 piles we've done. Get a little bit more insight. Whoops. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, you have really been bogged down in some shadow work, some deep, complex things, and have really seen the completeness of your light and shadows and how to integrate them and accept them and understand some powerful things about the nature of life and the powerful things about the nature of yourself. And through this, you've been in chaos and you're stepping into order and a new sense of self and a new direction. Aries and Mars. Mars rules Aries, and these 2 came up, and they are about drive, order, a sense of self, a sense of direction, a sense of passion. So you're stepping out of chaos into order. You know what you want, you know where you're going. There's a lot of compassion through this 12th house dice that you've really developed a deep understanding and a deep ability to figure out how to dissolve things and hold things in a big way. But yeah, a new identity is coming on, a new path, a new direction, because you've fully embraced the light and shadow of the situation and let go. Okay, this is 9. Capricorn. Okay, so this stepping into really centering into your own passions, your sense of beauty, what you love, that's now turning you back on, that's now giving you a new sense of life and love for life. It's been about the mind. There have been some trappings in your mind that you've had a hard time going into your heart versus living in your mind. And so you've learned a lot of lessons around that, of like how to when to turn mind on and when to turn mind off, when decisions, when mediation, when letting go involves the heart versus the mind. So you've learned a lot about how to use the mind and when to not use the mind, when to drop into heart. Let's see, is that 9 or 6? I think it's 6 actually. Okay. No, it's 9. Okay. So, yeah, there's been like a judgment, whether it's been in your favor or not, it's sort of like a final decision has come in and it's time to move on. And you've developed a lot of philosophies and beliefs through this process. But I also think in connection to this Eros quality that is shining through, excuse me, you have developed a sense of hope and faith in life. No matter what an outcome has been, you have something right now that's dry, like an aim, a vision, something that's giving you a lot of belief and a lot of hope. It may be not necessarily that a judgment was made that was for or against you, but that was quite fair all around. And through that and through really understanding it and accepting it, this new sense of belief and hope and some deep philosophies have been built that are allowing you to understand the importance of finding in any moment what it is you can love in life. In Capricorn, there's something really solid here, and this makes me think that quite a few of you, this might be more of a professional element rather than a personal element, where you've solidified your place as a counselor, a mediator, a diplomat, a judge, something. You've worked really, really hard for, maybe half of you listening to step into a role in life. Maybe you've gone through this yourself, but it's allowed you to step into a role because of what you've gone through, or maybe you've just really studied hard and worked hard and had a lot of mentoring around taking on this role of like a bridge builder in some sense. But you have a solid sense of this in you now. And it really stems from this being able to go into the heart space and knowing how to use heart versus mind and when it's appropriate. Okay, so last we are going to look at some oracle cards around what is going on. This new fruitfulness, this new fruit that's ready to be shared into the world, which I think is a deep sense of sort of diplomacy and ability to make connections, find connection despite it being maybe difficult. Okay, interesting. Okay, first with this Pisces full moon, this has been, whatever your process here is, whether it's a role you've found for yourself that's ready to come into the world, or this conflict you've figured out how to let go of, making you sort of your own diplomat in a way, ready to be an elegant person in the world that knows how to share wisdoms around, holding conflicts appropriately and getting through them. You've learned something about light and shadow. You've learned something about holding complexity. And there's something very soulful that's developing in you in terms of this ability to hold deep understanding and compassion that's behind this fruit is producing another fruit that is really tapped into something just like very ethereal and spiritual and mesmerizing. There's something about on top of this ability to kind of resolve conflict. There's something, kind of mystical and ethereal that is also channeling in you, that sort of developed out of this tangle of things. An artistic quality, something mesmerizing about you that people are really going to be in awe of. I don't really know what to say about that. It feels mysterious, and it feels like it's in an incubation place. So I think you'll find out in like the next 3 or so months that something is under your surface right now that's very mesmerizing, that's coming out of you. And I think it has to do with you're moving on, walking through new doors, you're letting go. You're gonna find that's what it is, in this new path you're entering. You're going to connect to something in you that is really mesmerizing, and that connects to seeing the beauty in life with all of its lights and darks and shades and shadows and everything. So temporary, this card is the I Ching. It's the hexagram 39, temporary obstacles. And this to me is like maybe there's still just like a few irritations in this bridge building, in this letting go, this moving on that are in there. But it's sort of like like how airplanes need some resistance to fly, or oysters need sand in order to create the pearl. Whatever this irritation is, you're flipping it. You're in the process of flipping this to work for you, to produce that mesmerizing thing that's starting to take shape in you. Yeah, whatever this irritation is like, I almost want to switch these cards. Like, it is leading to, you're in process of flipping this, and it's leading to creating this mesmerizing turquoise pearl that is a new quality coming out of you. So incorporate, this is a card where this person is incredibly tapped in to their body and instinct, and they're very much so. I feel like this is tapping into how I said, like, you've learned when to use mind and when to not. And this is saying even more so than the heart, it's like listening to body, listening to what your body wants, listening to its symptoms, taking time to use your body, to connect with your body, and a lot of answers and a lot of passion and beauty will come out of that. So this feels, like this being the central card in these oracles, it feels really important. That's a message to you right now of like, you need to be very, very connected to your body versus your mind right now. So getting into some dance, running, something where you're really forced to be in body and move and use it and feel it. I love that the Andean cross came out. This is really a card about calling in the directions in life, and not just north, south, east, west, which all have different things they're connected to that bring life alive, but also the upper world and the lower world. So there's something directional that you're really feeling. You've really learned how to tie in all the elements of life, all of the wisdoms from the angelic realm, the wisdoms from deep down in the earth of the elements, the things that have been here for millions and millions of years in this particular planet. You know how to tie these together, and you're really finding your sense of direction right now that's maybe been born out of figuring out a lot about what tensions and conflict are and how they can produce beautiful things and channel beautiful things. This card is coming through to tell you that you are safe and you are secure, and it's time, it's okay. Like, maybe there's a lot of fear right now to step onto a new path because so much time has been put into understanding conflict or being kind of drowned in it. But whatever's come through, whatever judgment, whatever this moving on is, whatever you are retapping into about your own sense of life and love and passion and direction, there could still be a lot of fears about, how do I know the same thing won't happen again if I walk through this? But this card is coming through to say that you are protected. You've learned so much, so no, it won't turn out the same. And to walk through that portal. And it's not a doorway, it's a portal. This isn't just a new path, this is a portal to a whole new dimension of living. I love that as your last card. Yeah, you are stepping not just into a new path, not just moving on, you are stepping into a whole new portal of living that's completely different and completely centered in finding the beauty and passion of life. And I think that's where I'm going to leave you, because I think that's really powerful, and I'm excited for that for you guys, very much so. So, yeah, good luck to you guys. I feel like you are on the brink of a big new adventure that will be really beautiful and fulfilling. Knight of Swords, you're ready to, and Eight of Wands, you're ready to charge through it. So don't hold back. Go for it. All right. Hello, pile 3. If this is your pile, you guys are definitely feeling like my spiritual, mystical crew. So to start with, in this reading, sort of about what is ready in you to share out into the world, kind of like if you were a tree, what is the fruit you've now produced that others feel attracted to or want to partake of? So it could be something tangible, or it could be just certain qualities. So we're going to dive into this. At the top here, we have sort of some archetypes, and then I am working with the Tree Spirit Oracle to kind of get into a little bit more about the specific fruit. And these are a little bit more about who you are and what you've navigated to get here. So starting with the thread, this is, I feel like you guys are, have had a long road that has not been clear. It has not been linear. It has been very tangled and confusing, but the whole time there's been certain things pulling at you, little clues, little passions, some center in you that has just been continually pulling at a thread to try and find the center of something. And you've gone through a lot of chaos to get there, but you've kind of found what that thread is attached to now, what you've been tugging on, what you've been navigating to develop something in you that's taken a lot of just trust in your intuition, a lot of trust in your very distinct and unique path. It's not a path that anyone could have laid out for you, and not one you had a great map for, but you just stayed on this intuitive thread that you had, and you were pulling and pulling, and you finally have sort of found the source of what that is. So it's maybe been like 7-8 year journey of like pulling on something that you weren't quite sure what it meant, what it was, but you felt like a compulsion to keep tugging on it. It was very important. With the ocean over here, this to me totally adds to the chaos that's maybe been felt here. This is like, you have been under an absolute sea of just your personal depth of figuring out what your unconscious is and developing a relationship with it. Really diving into your unconscious, but kind of like, just like the thread where you've kind of had to go in a tangle of things on your route to get where you are now. You've been also just like under the ocean where things are like incomprehensible. You've been to other worlds, you've been under your surface, you've really navigated things that are strange, that are otherworldly, that are a little bit magical and mystical, but also like a little bit overwhelming and not really knowing what you're supposed to do with it. Um, but you've made really special discoveries because of that work. Even though it's been maybe emotional and overwhelming, you've come out with some really beautiful, unique discoveries. And I even just love this sort of, it's like almost like a shell with this like green aura around it. Like just something really, you've really pulled out some beautiful, unique things that are special, that are mysterious, that have this very comprehensive understanding of big, complex things. So kind of um, in tandem, both of these cards to me are sort of indicating you've really been navigating things you haven't understood, maybe felt over your head, maybe felt overwhelmed, confused. But at this point, you have now found some sort of source of what that is about, and you've made amazing discoveries to bring to the world. And then this almond tree similarly sort of indicates that you've been in a labyrinth, and at the heart of this tree is a certain kind of like deep spiritual light. So I feel like you've really developed some sort of like compassion or understanding of what love is, what beauty is, what giving means, and you're ready to give. This to me, yeah, I mean, like the almond is one of the first trees to bloom in spring, and so this to me feels like you're very ready and aware now after this really long, strange journey of what your discovery is and what the source of the impulse to find the discovery has been. So it's going to be unique to everybody, but there's something that I feel like you really know what it is and you're really ready to share it. And it's coming from a place of just like really deep love and compassion for the world, which is beautiful. So we're going to pull some cards for each of the thread and the ocean to get a little bit more insight, kind of tease this out a little bit more. A little more specificity. I feel like you are ready to take on the world. You have taken on a monstrous task, and now you are in a good way like a monster in the world, or about to be, if that makes sense. Not like a disgusting monster, but like, just you're stepping into some very big shoes because you've been in very big nebulous places. Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna take this top card. Justice. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I really, this makes me feel like there's something related to career or work here with the Three of Pentacles, and you can't do this alone. Whatever it is you've been tugging at and doing, like, collaboration is going to be very big here. And even with the star, even if you've found kind of your North Star or your hope and vision, this card is ruled by Aquarius, which is a collaborator. So both of these cards are indicating that there's either something for a big group that you're interested in, or that you have this new kind of discovery about, or impulse to do something for, or that you need a group to help do this. I mean, they're kind of saying the same thing, but collaboration is definitely indicated here, humanity. And then with justice, this feels like your discovery and the impulse to find the discovery has been about trying to bring the world into a little bit more of a accurate balance, and not being afraid to speak up and use your voice and call out things that need some karmic retribution. Like, you could have a little bit of fierceness and anger in you, actually. Not quite anger, but just this, like, no more. Like, we're done with this using my voice. A bunch of us are using our voice. You're part of some big movement to bring karma full circle on something really big and really complex. Okay, I'm gonna roll some astro dice as well. Get a little bit more about this. Yeah, it does not surprise me that the 12 showed up. Okay, well, we'll talk about the 12th first. This is just mirroring kind of what I've already said. You've been in very deep, complex waters, and through the light and shadow of things, holding a lot of complexity and really needing to dissolve some illusions to really understand the heart, to find this discovery. And you've developed a deep compassion and a deep love to share because of having gone through this 12th house territory. Taurus and the sun, to me, are saying that there is a light. Yeah, I mean, the almond tree talks a lot about sort of a light that it has, that it shares. So you're bringing a light, you're bringing will and creativity and power to something. And like, even this sun with the 12th house, I feel like whatever it is you're doing either for people or collaborating with people on, I'm gonna go back a little bit on this, like, being this sort of an actor of justice. You are doing that, but I feel like you're doing it in maybe like a really creative way that's inspiring rather than like lecturing. So kind of like finding an expression that inspires, sort of like honey instead of vinegar, in terms of bringing whatever it is to the world that you have to share. And it has something to do with values. It has something to do with money in the world, voice, empowerment of the self and self-worth, the material world in general, comfort, pleasure, beauty. You could bring a lot of deep beauty. You may even be like a singer or something. An artist, I want to say singer, or someone who's using your voice artistically with that Taurus. There's something really beautiful there. Okay, let's also look at the ocean with some cards and get a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, again, Page of Pentacles, kind of echoing the Pentacle theme to me anyway. You're trying to find, or you've worked really hard. You've gone into some deep contemplation, and it was through getting like really still and kind of giving yourself some space emotionally and relationally, where you kind of were able to bring all of this chaos into some sort of stillness where you then could compose and either create or find this discovery. This feels all just like very artistic. I feel like you guys are artists of some sort, a lot of you. And it's also been, you've really had to use your mind strategically to find some sort of truth amidst all this chaos and infighting and outfighting and different burdens. But I like that this guy is kind of looking back at something but moving forward. It's like he's found the ideas of truth and is leaving behind the others. So through the chaos, you've found what is important, the heart of things, which the almond talks about. It's like the heart of a labyrinth. You've found the center, you've found the light, the heart, what it is, the purpose, the point of whatever you've been like really deeply navigating. And then the Page of Pentacles to me here, similar to Taurus showing up in a Three of Pentacles, we're back into something about value, something about the material world. But you have a message. You have a message to share with the world about value, about the earth, you could even be environmentalists. You could have a message about personal worth for people, about the worth of the earth, about how to use voice, about bringing in accurate income and income equality issues. But all of this you're doing in a way that's not like this righteous, I don't know, kind of spokesperson. You're composing something, you're inspiring about it. Okay, let's get a little bit more on this. Yeah, okay, definitely. I felt that with the Star, and even the Three of Pentacles, something with groups, something with kind of breaking out of the mold, unpacking norms that are no longer working. The 11th house and Uranus, Uranus rules the 11th house, and it's about humanity. It's about breaking out of old conventions and constructs. It's about experimentation and pulling out the uniqueness of who you are, and just like a real deep care for humanity. So at the heart of what you're doing is like you really care for the human condition. You have a lot of compassion for it. In Gemini, again, it's like there's this message. You have a message to share. You have information. You've discovered some sort of information, or even community is important. So whether it's for like an immediate community or information for the world, it could be different for each of you a little bit of where this information needs to be directed. If it's more for a small community of people that you have, whether that's family and friends, neighborhood, city, the nation you're in, or the world. But there's some kind of information that you have that's really helping to kind of jailbreak people out of certain ways of thinking and valuing things in the world. Okay, so last of all, we've got some oracle cards to just get a little bit of direction with this. Yes, depression for sure. That was felt. Okay, so new moon in Scorpio. You are in a position of power. You have some sort of empowerment you've found. You have some sort of platform or something solid that you're able to stand on, that you feel very empowered in. And you're sharing something, like really new about unpacking how power works in the world. Really showing how to empower. It might even be just more personal, like how to empower the self, or it could be about more complex powers in the world, but something about value and power. And you have a new thing to share that's really solid, and you have something solid to stand on. So don't be scared to speak this or express it artistically into the world, whatever it is. Definitely, you have really been, talking about like the 11th house and Uranus and the star, like really breaking out of something that's been very oppressive, whether that's super personal to you or something more systemic. But through that oppression, like the pressure that's been on, something solidifies. So like going back to, I've done this in other piles, like I think I just, going forward, need to switch these two. There's something that's been solidified because of the pressure you've been in, and that solidity has helped you crack out of whatever shell has encased that, because that shell is no longer holding it. And it's something powerful. It's something about empowerment, understanding power, and value in the world, that it's very solid in you now, and you really understand because you've gone through some tough things around it. So the journey, this is definitely like relating to me, this like labyrinth of the almond tree and the tangle of the thread. You have kind of gone down into the core, like of your soul, into places where it's really hard to understand what you're navigating, where you are. So yeah, like you've understood now like what's at the core of you, and maybe reflected in the world some sort of core outside of you that's not been understood or well talked about or well researched yet or expressed into the world yet. But there's some core idea, there's some core understanding about love, about compassion, about the human condition, that, this is really just a reflection of, I think, thread and almond. Like you've gone on a very big journey to understand this. You've had like your own little hero's journey with lots of challenges, and you've really developed some wisdom here. So you have great wisdom. And I think part of that wisdom has been to be understanding of and compassionate about the differences in people and opinions and ideas and places in life, and like really incorporating that into your lens of what you're expressing, just like a deep compassion for that. Like we're all, very different, and a lot of people in the world are different from us and have different views, but you've really kind of figured out how to navigate that and express in a way that's very inclusive, while still sharing some discovery that's needed and beautiful. Totally, the smoky mirror totally is like the ocean. I love how these are just like so mirroring. You have been, this basically to me is like, you've been down in an ocean, or like walking through a fog, trying to find some sort of clarity. And that fog is starting to kind of clear, and you're seeing some truths. But through this walking through a fog, through smokiness, trying to see clearly into or through something, you've really developed, I think what solidified in you is trust and belief in life and in yourself. And then with the flow, this is sort of like, you know how like rivers develop in this meandering path, and that totally is the thread. Oh my gosh, these totally mirror. It's really funny. Yeah, there's something you've developed because you've meandered, and because of that, you've really like figured out how to touch so many people and places in life. Through your lostness, you've really developed like a network, and it may not have made sense during it, but now like I feel like your river has merged with the ocean, the source of something, the source of where the thread is coming from. So you're gaining that understanding but to get to that source through the labyrinth, through the maze, through the meandering, it's allowed you to touch so much in life, so many people, so many places, so many emotions, so many points of view. You have like a very encompassing understanding and compassion through that. And you've given a lot of fertility to a lot of places that you've touched. And so you should have like a lot of support and blessings because of this. Okay, so I don't feel like there was something like really specific or tangible we pulled out, but I feel like, you know, because you are sort of my expressive, artistic, spiritual crowd, that, you know, it's going to be uniquely personal to each of you, but at the heart of it, there's some kind of deep light and love you've pulled out through being in like entrenched in some chaos and compulsively putting yourself there. And there's something really expressive that's been like you have a composition that was born out of breaking out of oppression and putting yourself in complexities. You have this really beautiful composition to share into the world, is what I feel, with a message that's not, you know, that points out some inequalities, some justices, but not in a way that's like yelling or shouting or angry. That's just like very beautiful and very inspired. Okay, so that is your guys' reading. Good luck sharing your composition into the world. I would love to hear about what this might be for each of you. I would love some inspiration that way. So yeah, this is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you guys. Hello, pile 4. I feel like we've saved, I don't want to say the best for last, but I really love what I'm seeing in these initial cards here, which this reading for you is about what's sort of ready to share into the world that you've maybe been working on for many, many years. And I'm particularly using this tree deck as a central card, sort of symbolic of what it is you've grown as a fruit that's now either a thing to put into the world or certain qualities you've developed that the world is going to be very enticed by and attracted to. So it's something that's like really developed, come into maturity, and that others are now starting to notice and wanting to be a part of. So pile 4 for you, this is, we're going to start with these top cards. These are kind of about a little bit about you and your journey, and then this is a little bit about some clues into what it is that's ready to share. Then we're going to do some tarot cards for the 2 archetypes. And then at the end, we have some oracle cards and some astro dice to give a little bit more, kind of tease out a little bit more information about it all. Okay, so the temple, to me, this is you have maybe had a tough time in life really respecting and honoring who you are in your core. It could be things about you internally, or it could be about your body. It could be both. Or even just finding anything in life to feel as like a sacred space that has a meaning for you. You've worked on this. It's something you've really wanted to develop, to have a deeper center, a more sacred element quality in you, and you're really coming into your own with this. There's something you're really honoring, really giving space for, really respecting right now, that is creating something around you that is very, people can feel a reverence for even just being around you because of how much respect and work you've put into honoring certain things about you or certain spaces in your life. You're holding this really beautiful, reverent energy around you that is sort of awe-inspiring. And then the vision, I effing love this card. Maybe because I'm a Sag rising, but you have developed an aim, a vision. You've maybe been a little bit lost in life for many years, like 7 or 8 or 9 years. Really, had some maybe ideas of what you've wanted to do, of what your vision in life is, or your aim. But maybe being doubtful that you're up for the task, or that you don't have the skills required, or have dipped your toes in to try and make this vision something that could be realistic for you, and doubting it along the way. But now you've come to a point where this is real. You've taken little step by little step to this massive thing, and now this vision is real. And it's an actual fruit, and it's something that is manifesting in your life. And it's maybe shocking you because you didn't really, there was maybe a compulsion towards this, but you didn't really think you either were worthy or had it in you or something. But it is here. It's here. And don't ignore that or doubt it or push it aside, because it's real. I just want you to know that. I'm saying this because the birch tree in the center, this fruit that's coming, this card talks a lot about, don't ever let yourself think that something's too late to start anew. So there may be, this vision may pertain to something where you're like, it's too late for me to do this. But you kind of pecked away at it anyway because it's so deeply in your core. And this card is saying, no, it's not too late. Don't think that way, because it's here and you are working on it because it's part of you. So honor that, respect it, make it sacred. And this card, this birch, is about renewal. And, it's the very first card in this deck. And it's about understanding and being willing to stand in innocence and renewal in a fresh path. And I don't know wherever you live, if you've, or even if in travels you've experienced this, but like where I live, if you hike kind of further up into the mountains, there are a lot of these really, really beautiful, birch or aspen, whatever. They're kind of the same type of tree. Aspen forests, birch forests, and the sound that they make when you walk through forests of these is just like, it's so gentle and it's so purifying to me. And it's almost like these little whispers of like, you can do it. you have what it takes, and it's all these little leaves. They're teeny tiny leaves on them, but together, so it's almost like all these little steps you've taken put together has created this symphony. And you've now created a forest of all of your little steps, and they're just ringing, and they're beautiful, and it's alive. Whatever this is so alive for you right now. And you may be doubting that, but trust it. It is alive, and people are paying attention whether you know this or not. So keep on it, keep focused, the vision. And also, it's really, surprisingly difficult for people to find a vision in life. So when you come across somebody who does have a vision, you want to be part of it, because someone has an aim and a direction. And so many people are lost in life, and they're just willing to kind of hop on board where there is a direction that feels inspired. So it's kind of like a leader card too. So you have a vision, and other people are going to be excited by that and want to be part of it. And you have the right to say yes and no to who and what you allow into this vision. So just know that, but know that people are watching, and like very soon, you're going to get people wanting to jump on board whatever you've got. So just be aware that you're going to have some choices here coming. So be protective, treat it very sacredly, know the integrity of this vision, and so how to say yes and no. Okay, so we're going to pick some tarot cards for both the temple and the vision to kind of tease out a little bit more information about this. Yeah, okay. It to me feels like you've had maybe some formal education or formal mirroring, formal mentoring, some formal instruction that's really helped you to understand how to make life sacred. So kind of think to anyone who's been in your life as an influence, or things you've done in a formal way to kind of develop this. And I feel like that connection needs to stay strong. Maintenance, getting there is one thing and huge, but the maintenance and keeping at it also takes effort. And I feel like this is saying, like, you need to keep that connection alive with formal training, formal mentoring, being around others who formally know how to make life sacred. Not necessarily that you need to learn more, but if we kind of take ourselves out of circles and practices that are being formally done, we can kind of lose track of it. So this is like, I think, just a reminder of like, don't lose track of whatever has really helped you to create sacredness in your life. Keep that connection strong. The Six of Pentacles to me is indicating that a real flow of exchange is coming in, a real harmonic, rhythmic balance. So don't be scared to spend a little money, to give a little money, and to accept that. Like there's going to be an ebb and flow of in and out of resources, because something is really coming into a rhythm. And so you really need to allow your resources to come in and out. And that's going to generate bigger and bigger spirals of value in your life. So just create a rhythm around, it doesn't even have to be money, but just like, what is it that you value? How are you using your body? How are you molding your physical world? Just be really active with it. There's something here that like this building of the temple is like becoming just much more eloquent and elegant and rhythmic, and you're just expanding that. So keep doing that. And then the Three of Wands is like you really have an aim and a vision for what you want this to be, in whatever it is you're giving the world, whatever your vision is. This temple aspect, this sacredness you've found in life and in yourself is a very key factor in this, whether you've matched those or not, or related them or not. It is deeply related, more than you realize. So, keep expanding this, keep tied into things and people and practices that have really developed this, because it's expanding and it's supporting this vision. Okay, so let's roll some astro dice. Ooh, okay. Something about your sense of self, your identity. This is so deeply about who your impulses, your passions are being really upgraded, and who you are, how you order your life, what you think is important, how you find direction and motivation has come into such a special place. There's something so sacred you've developed around this that you really have a strength in now, and it's going to be so revered in the world so soon, coming up as this kind of fruit has starting to be seen, and wanting to be picked by others. This could relate to your professional life as well, something that you can use to give yourself position and authority in the world. And you need to keep integrity and honesty and strength with the core of what this is to you. Stay in, you need to find your alignment. Know what your alignment is. Keep practicing, keep getting wise counsel about this sacredness you've developed in life around your sense of self. Because as an identity, there's something about your identity that's going to give you, that's really integral and aligned and integral. You need to keep your integrity strong. You need to keep this very strong, because there's something about your identity that's going to give you position. And so you need to keep building this. You need to keep practicing whatever this sacredness is, because it's really foundational about some position you're getting in the world. Communication. You have something to share about either information that's written, that's expressive. This is like the season, Gemini season here is like the birds and the bees and nature and flirtation and expression and color. So you have something very colorful, very expressive, a lot of information to weave into certain beautiful, I don't know, I mean, this feels like, I want to say this is like a writing element, something, some information, some ideas, some musings that you're weaving into some kind of written expression that's really beautiful and fun, that's directly sourced out of this sacredness you're feeling for life. Okay, let's move on to the vision card. Yeah. Oh, that came out really quickly. I'm going to take the top one. Oh, you guys, okay. I'm not shuffling very well right now. Okay. This shuffle, the way this shuffling happened makes me feel like you're still very nervous about this. I don't know why, like I felt very nervous shuffling there and like really self-conscious. So there's something you're still not like owning about this vision and just reiterating this is real. Whatever it is you're doubting is just stop. Like it's real. Don't worry. What's meant for you will not pass you by. Holding a strong vision, you will not, that won't be passed up or lost. Like just relax, I guess. And I feel like this Pentacles is like mirroring that. There's something you're like wishy-washy about with this. You're not completely maybe there's something in your vision you're still torn about, like it's just so close to being a singular vision, but there's still like some polarities in it that you're kind of wrestling with, and maybe that's what the anxiety is about. And I just say relax with it, let the ideas flow, be playful with this, and it will solidify into this center singular vision. It's coming. But this does feel like maybe it's like just not quite there yet. So just get playful. Don't be nervous or anxious about this. Be curious and playful. Let something flow, explore. You'll find the center point. Don't worry. Just explore with this. Wheel of Fortune, totally. I'm so glad this showed up. Like this is a turning point in your life. This is a major turning point in your life. This has been a major thing to try and figure out and find and own. And as soon as you find the center point, your Wheel of Fortune is turning. A turning point in life is happening. A really big one. King of Wands. You are a leader. Like I said, like when someone has a vision, it's a special thing that doesn't happen to everyone or every day. And so you need to honor that you're going to be a leader because of this, because you have developed a vision. You've put so much work into it. I can just feel that. And so as a leader, you are a creative, this is definitely a creative vision. The Wands is a very creative suit. And so being a creative leader of sorts, like, yeah, going back even into like the writer, the expressive thing, and feeling that there's something really creatively inspiring. And, the kings to me are the fire suit, the wand suit in general. So it's sort of like the king of kings, just being a deep, inspiring figure. As soon as this wheel turns, as soon as this vision solidifies, the wheel turns, you are all of a sudden going to be in a position of responsibility, but one that is requiring inspiration. So own that. Don't be anxious. This is solidifying soon. Just be playful right now. Okay, roll some dice to get a little more about this. Yeah, art. There's something very artistic coming through here. And okay, yep, this is exactly what I was feeling. Something fantastical, something artistic. 12th house and Pisces are kind of the same. That's Pisces' natural house is the 12th house. And this is about, in an artistic sense, which is sort of what I'm getting here, it is the artist, it is the inspiration house and sign, the sign of being tapped into things mystical, things artistic, things, the composing energy. It is the being able to hold complexity energy, the being able to hold both light and shadow and integrate and dissolve complexities. But overall, it's like a composition sign. So you're composing, and that's probably why this is a little bit, these are very sensitive signatures. So there's a lot of sensitivity and maybe, big boundaries. So a lot of chaos. And so that's maybe why you're still just like, there's still something a bit nebulous about what you're trying to hold and find the singular aim in. And by getting still with this energy, that chaos settles a little and you're better able to compose. So be a little bit playful, but also balance that with, we're having like a new layered meaning on the Two of Pentacles. So like on one side, be playful and curious. On another side, get really still. Make some time for sort of like mindfulness each day in meditation, where you calm your mind and you calm your energy and you just let everything be very still around you. And that allows you to see what you need to pull out of all of the chaos to compose correctly and to compose something cohesive and coherent. And talking about writing earlier, to tie in Jupiter here, this is a planet, it rules many things, but the thing that's really sticking out to me is like publishing. You have certain perspectives. It's a storyteller. You have stories to share into the world. So whether that's through writing articles, writing books, doing a podcast, speaking, and whether it's like on a platform like a magazine or a blog or a podcast, or whether it's through like a publishing where it's an actual like book or novel, there's some platform coming for you where you can share stories, where you can share your wisdom, where you can share something really big though. So it's a big audience. So you have a big vision and an equally big audience, and you're composing something really complex and fantastical, very expressive, and you're going to be a leader. So this is really exciting. Like, I feel like you guys are on fire, or going to be soon. Not in a bad way, like not fire to the tree, but like your energy, that wand energy is fire. There's, two of those there. There's something just ignited in you. And I think you're already feeling it, but it's just like like getting that singular center aim is like so close. And as soon as it's there, that fire you're feeling inside is just going to come alive. Okay. Interesting. That's a new layer. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Lots of new ideas here. Cutting through, fire above, thunder below. So this is an I Ching card, a hexagram from the I Ching. And cutting through, there's that fire, like I just said, there's something on fire in you. And it's still congealing into that singular vision. And as soon as it does, it's like a thunderbolt. Lightning strikes. You are capturing lightning in a bottle with this coming very soon. So keep at it. Trust it. Be playful, not anxious. Find some stillness. This is coming together. It's already in process. There's no stopping it now. So just trust that. South node. This is really interesting to me. I feel like the time it's taken for you to get here and this trusting that it's not too late, it's because you had some karma to deal with before you could claim your destiny. And that karma is now coming to a close. It's ending. And as soon as it does, the lightning, the thunder's hitting. As soon as this closes, there's like a teeny tiny bit of karmic, I think from like other lifetimes, that is just squeezing out right now. It's so close. And as soon as that happens, because that's been maybe some of the chaos that's been hard to hold or hard to help make it possible to find your singular aim for the vision. As soon as this closes, it's going to you're going to switch into your north node versus south node. And like, you're going to have this like destined moment and clarity of idea and clarity of direction. So just trust that like there's just some things in your karmic signature that are just still kind of dissolving. And so trust in that process. That's why this has taken so long to claim and get to, and that's why that's what's holding you this back right now from finding the singular point. So maybe put a little bit of focus too in like whatever you feel like is kind of closing out in your life, or things you need to deal with, things you need to cut through. Put a little bit of effort into that as well right now. Wholehearted bridge. I love this. This is like, to me, the inner child card. And I feel like you're really reclaiming and reintegrating your inner child that's maybe been in turmoil with this South Node stuff, with this karmic stuff. It's maybe it got, I don't know, you got separated from your inner child, but I feel like it's back and it's really alive. And it's really helping to feed into this fantastical, beautiful stuff, and your sense of identity and your sense of expression is really coming back to you. It's all centering, like, see this, like, this center right in her chest is like the energy, I feel like, is all flowing back into this. There's some lost things that are coming back to you, and you're really like the world of the child, especially in like children's literature, there's always animals and nature. It's a really strong thing for developing wonder and imagination and your expressiveness, and it's coming back to you. It was lost for a while, but you see nature is just, animals, nature. I even see almost like ancestors are maybe helping in this, helping this come back into you, or calling it back in. It's really, really integrating a vision you always had, but it got lost for a while, but it's coming back. The beauty way, this is just about being able to see. I feel like it really ties into this like way of the child, where awe and wonder are so prevalent, and you're just seeing the beauty and the wonder and the awe and everything around you, which inspires you to create beauty around you, because you're seeing beauty, so you're feeling beauty, so you're expressing beauty, and everything is just becoming more and more and more beautiful. You guys, this drawing, you guys get an A+. I love whatever this is. Going back to the South Node with this card Release, there are some karmic things. It's just like there's a few final leaves on this past tree, on your karma tree, that are still falling off, that is still kind of creating this little delay or this little barrier to finding the exact aim. Um, there's just a few things squeezing out from karma, a few extra leaves from your karma tree falling before you can claim your destiny tree. Um, and that's a beautiful thing. Don't rush past that. Allow yourself to kind of, whatever's going on right now that you feel like is releasing, like really be present to that and find sacredness in it and beauty. And there's something about holding the light and the darkness, the new with the shedding, that is what brings a sense of beauty that's more mature even than a child's sense of beauty, because you're able to hold sort of grief and joy at the same time, and it's a very elegant thing. And I feel like you're really developing that bridge right now that's feeding both this sacredness and this vision. So um, yeah, some beautiful vision expression. It feels like maybe a writing element or an artistic element, but something that's shared on a really big scale and that's very expressive, and it's giving you position in the world, and a much clearer sense of identity. So yeah, beautiful, you guys. This is where I'm going to leave you. Let me know what you feel like is coming into vision for you in the comments. I'd love to hear. All right.